Welcome into Outkick the Show. I'm your fearless leader, Clay Travis. I hope you're having a fantastic Thursday wherever across this great country or this great land you may find yourself. The crazy scale on 2020 is off the charts. We're barely into June, and the NFL player who has done more for his city and state is now a pariah because he said that personally he stands for the national anthem with his hand across his heart to honor his grandfathers who fought Nazis in World War II. And that is considered to be controversial. I just want to talk about where we are for a minute. The player in the NFL who just donated $5 million to help people in poverty in his city and his state, who won the first ever Super Bowl for the freaking New Orleans Saints, who made the decision to help fight to keep the Saints in New Orleans so that they wouldn't go to San Antonio when many people wanted to move them in the wake of Hurricane Katrina. A guy who has done nothing but good for decades in the NFL is under siege for saying he wants to put his hand on his heart during the national anthem and think about what his grandfathers did when they fought Nazis. This is where we are in American sports today. People have lost their ever-loving minds. There is almost no one in all of sports media who has even been willing to say, I think this Drew Brees guy's a pretty good dude. And I think he has the right to decide what he would like to do during the national anthem based on his own life experience. Drew Brees did nothing wrong, yet he apologized for the way what he said made people feel. Since when are you responsible for what your opinion, which is probably shared by the majority of Americans, but it's an opinion, for what your opinion makes another grown man feel? Do you know how many grown men I have ever apologized to for an opinion that I have had? Zero. Not once in my entire life have I called another grown man and said, hey man, I'm sorry that my opinion hurt your feelings. Never. Do you know how many times another grown man has called me and said, hey, I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings. Let me apologize for the opinion that I had. Never. Never in my entire life has one man called me or have I called another man to apologize about opinions. I don't know adults who do this. I don't know grown people who do this, all right? This is the truth, all right? When you break down and get worked up about what somebody else's opinion is, that's on you. Share your opinions. Broadcast them widely. Say whatever you would like to say, and you can argue for your side. That's how the marketplace of ideas works. If you disagree with someone, try to prove why they are wrong with your own arguments. The way to win an argument is to say, I disagree with you because of the following facts, or the following facts that lead to these opinions. That's what adults do. That is what adults do, and therefore, that is what they should be doing. That is how they should handle difficulties. Go into the marketplace of ideas and argue for what you believe in. Don't buckle and end up in a position where you apologize for what you actually believe. Again, everyone is entitled to their own opinions. Everyone is not entitled to their own facts. We live in an era when people don't understand the difference between facts and opinions, and worse, where if you have an opinion, even if it's a popular opinion, if the blue checkmark brigade does not agree with it, then they will come out and they will try to cancel you. And again, this is not about the marketplace of ideas. The marketplace of ideas is two competing ideas go head to head, and whichever one is better wins. The marketplace of ideas is what the First Amendment is all about. The First Amendment is not about, I disagree with you and you should not be able to have an opinion anymore. That is what cancel culture is. And unbelievably, sports is now starting to embrace cancel culture. I disagree with you, and therefore you shouldn't be able to have a job anymore. That's not how America should work. And it's not just in sports. Everybody, I think, feels this on some level on Facebook, on Twitter, on social media, on email, text exchanges, wherever it is. Cancel culture is antithetical, is the antithesis of everything that America stands for. It's the antithesis of the First Amendment. Win a debate on the grounds of the debate, not by trying to get someone canceled. We need to cancel culture. And by the way, I believe this across the board. You know who's been sitting here for years defending Kevin Hart and defending the guy who makes Guardians of the Galaxy? It doesn't matter who the person is. I'm going to defend you against these absurdities. Okay? Drew Brees shouldn't have caved, in my opinion. But I understand why he did. Because we've created this false universe where when you apologize, suddenly the story goes away. The problem is when you apologize, you basically are acknowledging that you no longer have the freedom to say what you really believe and that you have neutered yourself. And that's what cancel culture wants. They want to eliminate arguments against what they believe, and they want to eliminate people who make the arguments against what they believe. Drew Brees is so neutered now, I bet he doesn't say a single thing for the rest of his NFL career because he's afraid of what the backlash might be. And all Drew Brees said was he stands for the national anthem to honor his World War II grandfathers who fought against cancel culture. This is absurd. And this goes back again to my point that I've been making for a long time. I don't care. I look to sports to entertain me. I really don't care about the politics of anyone who is playing a sport. I don't. Because if you remember athletics in your life, how often were the athletes the best and brightest in the entirety of a school? Did you look to the football team and think those guys, if they weren't playing football, would all be rocket scientists? Did you look to the basketball team or the baseball team and think, hey, but for their talents on the field, these guys may well have ended up all getting their PhD? Sure, there are smart athletes, but there's a reason why in general that is not the case, that the smartest kids are the best athletes, because it's rare, right? It's rare for the smartest kids to also be the most athletic. It wouldn't really be that fair. If everybody got equally genetic gifts across all facets, the best looking, the most athletic, and the smartest all in one person would be kind of unfair in a high school. And so it doesn't happen very often. I don't begrudge anyone having the right to an opinion, but the idea that we have started to treat athletes as if they are something other than celebrities, and by the way, it's happening with celebrities too. When I was younger, every time a celebrity would make a statement at the Oscars, everybody would roll their eyes. They'll be like, oh, here we go again. Some athlete or actress, some actor or actress who didn't get a high school degree barely is going to get up on the stage and lecture me. And then somewhere along the way, it pivoted to where we're supposed to be treating these people as super smart, as if they are the most renowned and intellectually superior of all of us. When did that happen? I don't remember growing up people being like, you know who is the smartest person on the planet? Jack Nicholson. When I watched him play the Joker, I thought to myself, you know what? The Joker probably is the smartest dude in the whole universe when it comes to politics. Like, I don't remember that happening. I'm going to keep using 1989 Batman. I don't remember people like Kim Basinger is the smartest woman in America, right? But nowadays, it's like, oh, a Hollywood celebrity said it, we got to take it seriously. Oh, an athlete said it, we got to take it seriously. And by the way, they never get quizzed. You may not like a politician, but they at least sit with a member of the media and get grilled about why they believe what they believe. When's the last time you heard an athlete or a celebrity in general get grilled on what exactly they believe to prove that they can demonstrate a deep well of knowledge so that we should be listening to them? It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. As a part of that, LeBron James teed off on Drew Brees, non-controversial. By the way, the media immediately branded them as controversial comments. LeBron James teed off. LeBron James teed off on Drew Brees 20 minutes after he said it. And LeBron James, months after Hong Kong shut down on the protesters there, China shut down on the Hong Kong protesters, has still not said a word about whether democracy should exist in China. LeBron James can weigh in on what Drew Brees thinks of the national anthem in America, but he still hasn't commented on the fact that if you get arrested for protesting in Hong Kong, you go to jail now for 5 years. He still hasn't weighed in on the fact that if you disrespect the national anthem, it's going to take you 3 years. None of this makes sense to me. People talk about freedom of speech in America, except they don't really mean freedom of speech. They mean freedom of speech for people who agree with them. This fires me up. I've been using this analogy for a while, but I want you to follow along with me. Imagine that Colin Kaepernick had taken a knee during the national anthem in San Francisco, and he had said that he was doing it because he thought gay marriage should be illegal in the United States. Think about that. Is this right? I don't particularly agree with him. I don't care who gets married. But what if Colin Kaepernick had done that during the national anthem? The same people who are praising Colin Kaepernick for using his platform and speaking out on issues would have immediately said, that guy has to be canceled. He can't play for the San Francisco 49ers anymore. It's the exact same action. It's just a speech that they don't agree with. Let me ask you this. Why is that the case? It's because most people don't believe in the First Amendment. They believe in their opinions and anybody else who shares them. People who are actually First Amendment absolutists like me would have the same position no matter what. It's not content disputable. It's content neutral. All right? So I would have said, that's probably bad business for the San Francisco 49ers. Because you don't want to start the precedent of when the national anthem comes on in uniform at work, anybody can make any political statements they want because sooner or later somebody's going to make a political statement that turns into a huge issue. It's the same reason why your clerk, cashier at Walmart, when you walk in, you know how they have the greeters at Walmart? They say hello. Do you know why they say hello? Nice to see you. Because nobody gets offended by hello, nice to see you. Imagine if Walmart decided, you know what, as a part of our new policy, every single person who walks into Walmart, we're going to say abortion is murder. You'll be like, holy crap, I just want to buy some laundry detergent. I didn't know that I was walking into the middle of the American political process when I went to Walmart to get some Pop-Tarts and laundry detergent. And by the way, it doesn't matter what you say. If you walked into Walmart and somebody said, hey, you should be a vegan. That was what they said to every single person walking in. They'd be like, I just want to buy some hamburgers so I can grill out this weekend. I didn't want to hear that I was killing every animal. That's the reason why Walmart says hello. Because the goal is not to offend anyone. And eventually, if you talk politics long enough at a company that is designed to appeal to everyone, then you end up losing business. This is not complicated. The other analogy that really kind of brings this home is you can put a bumper sticker on your car. Whichever company you want to support, whichever candidate you want to support. Let's say you're a big Biden guy. Let's say you're a big Trump guy. If you drive a car for UPS, for Amazon, or for FedEx, you pull into the lot in your car. It has a bumper sticker on it supporting Biden or supporting Trump. You can't then take that bumper sticker and put it on your corporate vehicle. You would get fired immediately because that would go viral. And people would say, oh my God, look, FedEx is a big Biden supporter. Oh, look, the UPS guy is a big Trump guy. And the other half of the population would be like, I don't want to talk about that. I just want to order my product. People watch sports to be entertained. They don't watch sports to have politics by any other name. And even worse than that, they don't watch sports to have hypocritical athletes who aren't that well educated on the issues lecture them about what they should believe when they are being hypocritical themselves. LeBron James still hasn't spoken out about China. In fact, he said there were some bad things about the First Amendment, and he said that Daryl Morey was uneducated when Morey talked about the fact that Hong Kong democracy was important. 5 years now if you protest in Hong Kong. 3 years if you disrespect the Chinese national anthem. This is a massive story. If you care about anything in the world right now, you should be caring about the lack of civil rights, the lack of basic human rights that Hong Kong is going to have as a result of China's actions. Props to Boris Johnson in England, who is talking about giving citizenship to any person from Hong Kong who wants to relocate as a result of this political peril that they find themselves in. I believe that the United States should also consider increasing visas and welcoming of people from Hong Kong to our country as a shot across the bow at China over China's decision to take away their basic human rights. Steve Kerr said it was a complicated decision when he was asked if he supported democracy in Hong Kong. Greg Popovich comments on every tweet that Donald Trump sends. He didn't have a word to say. Why is that? Why do you take advantage of American freedoms while ripping America and not even request the most basic of human rights for people around the world? It's because it impacts your pocketbook. LeBron James is doing what makes the most financial sense for LeBron James. He's selling faux-wokism in America while turning his back on billions of people around the world who could desperately use his support. Muhammad Ali stood up for things that matter in this country and around the world. LeBron James has turned his back on the vast majority of global citizens when he had an opportunity to speak out in their favor. All right, the NBA is coming back on July 31st. It took way too long. But to their credit, they are going to play. They're going to play at the Disney World. It's going to look ludicrous when Disney World is open and you can go ride Everest or you can go ride Space Mountain and you're not going to be able to watch a basketball game in person. It's going to be almost August. I believe the NBA is implementing a plan that made sense in April, but it's now August. And so I don't know why they are waiting so long. It doesn't make any sense at all. It's actually lunacy, particularly when you consider props to Greg Abbott of Texas, props to the great state of Texas. They now are allowing 50% capacity for all sports attendance. 50%, which means 50% of the Astros field could be filled. It means 50% of the Rangers field could be filled. It means that Jerry World will be open, in theory, for Alabama against USC with a minimum of 50% capacity. This is the right move because we are dominating against the coronavirus. Remember all those people up at Lake of the Ozarks? All the talk about how they were partying and they were having a great time over Memorial Day weekend? Story in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch today, no increase in cases. No increase in cases, and in fact, what you've seen is all of the states that have opened up, they have at worst around the same amount of cases they had before. Most of them are declining for purposes of hospitalization. And the states that aren't opened up yet, they have higher rates of infection. It's nonsensical that we continue to have anybody shut down, whether you're in Pennsylvania, whether you're in Michigan, whether you're in Minnesota, whether you're in Illinois or California or any other state that's still locked down. When you can go to Vegas, to the casinos that opened today, when you can go to Florida, to the amusement parks, what sense at all does it make to actually continue to shut down any part of this country? The answer is none. Absolutely none. The NHL also released further plans to return. I don't think that the NHL plan is as easy to institute as others are because they have so many teams in Canada. And Canada, by the way, while almost no one has talked about it, has ticked up to have about 70% of the death rate of the United States. So while everybody has been piling on the United States, most people haven't noticed that Canada and their Prime Minister Justin Trudeau have ended up with around the same percentage, close to it, of deaths per million as the United States has. And they have 1/10 of the population, a little bit less than 1/10. There are fewer people who live in Canada than live in all of California, to kind of put that into perspective for you. California has a larger population than Canada. So Canada has a smaller part of the entirety, all right? This is, I think, a really substantial part, all right? When you actually break it down, they have to deal with going over the border and all the complexities associated with that. But the NHL is also coming back, which brings me back around to the absurdity of Major League Baseball. Baseball should be playing right now. There is no excuse why millionaire players and billionaire owners cannot get this worked out. They are giving an irredeemable black eye to this league that is going to make the 1994 lockout shortened season look like a great year. Because right now, they should have the entire month of June to play. They should have the entire month of July to play. There should be absolutely no competition on a daily basis for the American sports calendar. And baseball, the owners, the players, the agents, the team, the league overall, the commissioner, they've all failed. It's absolutely inexcusable that they aren't back right now playing. I appreciate all of you. My name is Clay Travis. This has been Outkick the Show. DBAP unless you need to SBAP will be on tomorrow for radio. Appreciate all of you for consuming our content. May was the best month we've ever had in the history of Outkick. We got a lot of new writers. Make sure that you're checking out Outkick.com. I appreciate all of you. Kisses. DBAP. unless you need to SBAP. I'm Clay Travis, and this has been Outkick the Show. See y'all. Love you. Thank you, Facebook. See y'all.